Good morning, everyone. I am Angelica Acoheta, and today I will be discussing an interesting and creative way in teaching mathematics through the use of storytelling or audio scenarios as an instructional media. So, storytelling and audio scenarios are instructional tools where mathematical ideas are presented through recorded stories, dramatizations, or spoken narratives. These can be the form of podcast, voice clips, or live text generation. This method supports auditory learners and helps students visualize mathematical problems in real-world scenarios. For the principle of storytelling or audio scenarios, first is contextualization principle. The story must relate to the learner's experiences or culture to make learning meaningful. So, dapat related sa imong learners ang imong story, kaya once makarelate sila, they will find your lesson more meaningful and mas maintindihan na gid nila kung paano bala i-apply ang math sa ilang daily life. The next one is the engagement principle. The story should be interesting and emotionally engaging. So, dapat ang imong story is interesting kag para makapture mo ang attention sa imong students. Kaya once na ubra mo na, mas maging motivated sila and mas interested sa imong topic. So, ibig sabihin, mas maintindihan pag nila kag dasig nila matun-an ang imong ginatudlo. The third one is the concept integration principle. The math concept should be naturally embedded within the story, showing how it applies in real-life situations. So, diri, dapat ang mga karakter sa imong story is sila man mismo ang ma-solve sang mga problems sa imong story. The fourth one is cognitive development principle. Stories should move from simple to more complex ideas. So, diri, dapat ang story natin is ma-start sa simple ideas and slowly by slowly, makadto kita sa more difficult nga mga ideas. Kag para, makahelp kita sa aton nga learners understand the story step by step. Lastly, the inclusivity principle. Use simple, inclusive language that all learners can understand. So, dapat ang aton nga story is gagamit kita sa clear and simple nga language para ang aton nga learners is maintindihan kung ano bala ang aton nga unod sa aton nga story. For the guidelines of storytelling or audio scenarios, the first one is to prepare clear learning objectives before creating the story. So, before kita mag-start or mag-record ng story, dapat balano natin kung ano nga math concepts ang itudlo natin sa aton nga students kag ano bala nga skills ang mabalaan nila sa aton nga story kag muna ang obrahon natin nga learning objectives para clear sa imo kung ano ang expect mo at the end of your lesson. Number 2 is choose stories that are age-appropriate, relevant, and connected to real life. So, dapat mapiki kita sang story nga naga-match sa edad sang aton nga learners sa ilang nga interest kag sa experiences. Kaya once makarelate sila sang mga muna, ang students natin is more likely nga maintindihan ang imo ginatudlo and ma-apply nila ang imo nga math concepts nga ginatudlo sa ila. The next one is record or narrate with clear diction and proper pacing. So, kung magsulat kita or mag-record sang atong nga story, dapat mas speak clearly kita and comfortable speed. Ibig sabihin, hindi tamaan kadasig and hindi man tamaan kahinay kay para makafollow ang students sa atong nga story. The next one is insert short pauses or guiding questions during the story. So, while nag-story ikaw, include ikaw sang short pauses or simple questions to help your students think and reflect. Para man bala nga engaging para sa ila ang imong story, kag ma-encourage pagid sila nga i-connect ang events sa imong story sa real-life situations. Lastly, facilitate a short discussion afterward to connect the story with the math concept. So, after sang story is have a short conversation with your students kag para i-review mo sila kung ano natabo sa students kag paano na siya ma-relate sa math lesson. So, by doing this, makabulig niya sa imong student, maka-understand between sa connections ang imong story kag sang mathematical ideas. Example of math topics. First is measurement, particularly perimeter and area. Scenario. Anna is decorating their classroom. She measures the sides of the bulletin board, which is 4 meters by 3 meters. Find the total area to cover with colored paper. Some other areas of mathematics that can also include storytelling or audio scenarios are fractions, ratio and proportion, decimals and money, and statistics and data. For our class activity, group yourselves into 9. Each group will create a story focusing on one math concepts. For the group 1, they will focus on measurement, group 2, fractions, group 3, ratio and proportion, group 4, decimals and money, and group 5, statistics and data.
Good day, students! Today, I will tell you about a group of learners who use mathematics to prepare for their school fair. The grade 9 class was building a rectangular booth. They measured the space 6 meters long and 4 meters wide. Now, tell me class, if they want to cover the inside of the booths with mats, what measurement should they find? Yes, the area. And how do we find the area? Correct. Length times width. So, 6 times 4 is 24 square meters. That is the total space inside. Then, one student asked, Mom, how about the ribbon we will wrap around the booth? What do you think? What measurement do we use to find the distance around the booth? Exactly, the perimeter. Let us add all sides. 6 plus 4 plus 6 plus 4 is 20 meters. That is how much ribbon they need. During the fair, their booth looked perfect. The mats fit inside and the ribbon wrapped neatly around. Mom Rivera smiled and said, See, math helps us build, plan, and measure in real life.
That would be all. Thank you for listening.
Good morning everyone, I am Laika Makerman and today I will discuss the radio broadcast. So radio broadcast refers to teaching and learning lessons delivered through radio programs or recorded broadcasts. It focuses more on learning through listening rather than visual aids. Teachers use their voices, sound effects, and sometimes music to make the lesson more interesting and easier to imagine. Let's now proceed to the principles in using radio broadcast in math class. These principles will guide the teachers on how to properly and effectively use radio broadcast in the mathematics class. Principle 1. Clarity and simplicity of the content. Since students cannot see what is being discussed, the teacher must use clear, simple, and step-by-step explanations. This ensures students to understand the concepts without visuals. Principle 2. Engagement and interaction. The radio lesson should be interesting and interactive to keep the students' attentions. Teacher can include short questions, storytelling, or real-life examples. This prevents boredom and keeps students mentally active while listening. Principle 3. Reinforcement and repetition. Important ideas and formulas should be repeated and summarized during the broadcast. Students cannot rewind a live radio lesson, so repetition helps them remember and understand the lesson better. Principle 4. Integration with other learning materials. Radio lessons work best when combined with other materials like worksheets, notes, or visual aids. After the broadcast, students can answer activities or problems that reinforce what they heard. Here are some guidelines in using radio broadcast in math class. These are practical steps teachers should follow to make radio teaching effective. Guideline number 1. Plan and script the lesson. The teacher must prepare a lesson plan and script before recording or broadcasting. This includes the lesson objectives, examples, questions, and timing. A well-planned script ensures the broadcast is organized and easy to follow. Guideline number 2. Use an engaging voice and sound elements. Since the students rely only on what they hear, the teacher's voice should sound energetic and friendly. Using different tones and sound effects helps emphasize important parts and keeps students interested. Guideline number 3. Provide pre- and post-broadcast activities. Before the broadcast, give students a short outline or guide questions. After the broadcast, give follow-up activities or discussions. This helps students understand and apply what they have heard. Guideline number 4. Encourage feedback and participation. Teachers can ask students to send answers or reflections after listening to the broadcast. This gives the teacher an idea of how well students understood the topic. Guideline number 5. Ensure accessibility and proper timing. Broadcasts the lesson at a time where all students are available to listen. If possible, record the broadcast so students who missed it can still access it later. Sample math topics that can be taught through radio broadcast. Number 1 is linear equations. It can be used in radio broadcast through creating a short story about two students sharing money equally to introduce solving for x. It will help students relate math to real-life situations and understand equations more easily. Number 2, slope of a line. It can be used in radio broadcast through using verbal descriptions of slopes like hills or roads going up and down. It will allow students to imagine slope without graphs. Number 3, quadratic functions. It can be used in radio broadcast through telling a story about throwing a ball upward and observing how high it goes. It shows how parabolas work through a familiar real-life event. Number 4, mean, median, and mode. It can be used in radio broadcast through simulating a talk show where guests discuss students' test scores and compute averages. It makes data interpretation fun and realistic. Number 5, simple and compound interest. It can be used in radio broadcast through presenting a financial advice radio show explaining how money grows over time. It teaches practical applications of mathematics in bankings and savings.
Alright everyone, today we're going to learn about sound effect and dramatization. Sound effects are recorded or live sounds used to create a mood, emphasize an action, or get attention during a lesson. For example, a ding sound for a correct answer or a clap to signal the end of an activity. These sounds make learning more exciting and help us remember ideas better. Now, dramatization means acting out or telling a story to explain a lesson. It uses voice, sounds, and emotion to make a topic come alive. For example, when we act out sharing a pizza to show fractions, we understand divisions and parts of a whole better. Alright, to sum up, sound effects make lessons lively and dramatization help us experience learning in a creative way. When we use both, math becomes more fun, clear, and meaningful. Next is principles in using sound effect and dramatization. When we use sound effect and dramatization, there are some important principles we should remember. First, relevance. The sounds or the drama should always match the math concept. It must help explain the lesson, not distract from it. Second, clarity. We should avoid using too many sounds or action that can confuse learners. Everything should be easy to follow. Third, engagement. Choose sounds and rules that students will enjoy. When learners are interested, they understand the lesson better. Fourth, integration. Sounds and drama should blend naturally with the lesson. They are not separate activities but part of learning process. And finally, accessibility. Make sure everyone can hear the sounds and join in the dramatization. Every learner should be included. By following this principle, we can make our lessons creative, clear, and meaningful for everyone. Guidelines in using sound effects and dramatization. When we use sound effect and dramatization in our lesson, we should follow some simple guidelines. First, plan ahead. Decide which part of the lesson will use sounds or drama. This helps keep the activity organized and purposeful. Next, keep it short and focused. 1 to 3 minutes is enough. Short activities help maintain everyone's interest and attention. Then, involve students. Let learner help create sound effect or act out math ideas. Participation makes learning more enjoyable and meaningful. After that, use familiar context. Connect math story or skits to real-life situations that students can easily relate to. Lastly, assist understanding. After the activity, ask questions to check what students learned from the sounds or dramatization. Alright, by following these guidelines, we can make sound effect and dramatization effective and enjoyable tools for learning mathematics. Example of math topics using sound effects and dramatization. Let's look at how we can use sound effect and dramatization in our math lesson. For algebra, specifically in linear equation, we can use dramatizations. Students can perform a short skit called the balancing act. In this activity, they act out how equations stay equal on both sides, just like a balance scale. This helps us see that whatever we do to one side of an equation, we must also do to the other sides to keep it balanced. Now, for geometry, focusing on angles and triangles, we can use sound effect. During a quiz game, we can play different sounds for each type of angles. For example, a ding for an acute angle and a bash for an obtuse angle. This makes identifying angles more exciting and helps students remember them easily. For statistic and probability, we can use dramatization. Students can perform a short skit called the weather forecast show. In this activity, they act as meteorologists predicting the weather and explaining the chances of rain or sunshine. Through this, students learn how probability works in real-life situations, just like how forecasts predict possible outcomes. Now, for trigonometry, we can use sound effects. We can use rhythm and sound patterns to help remember trigonometric ratios. For examples, students can chant SOHCAHTOA with a bit of simple percussion sounds. This makes it easier to recall the sine equals opposite over hypotenuse, cosine equals adjacent over hypotenuse, and tangent equals opposite over adjacent. Alright, these creative methods show that even in higher math topics, sound and drama can make learning easier, enjoyable, and memorable. Thank you.
So good day everyone. So at this moment I am going to tackle about the talking books. So talking books are only versions of printed materials such as textbooks, storybooks, or reference books. So they allow learners to listen to the content instead of or in addition to reading it. So here in talking books, pwede siya maging form of CDs, digital recordings, or online audio files, and helpful gid ni siya for the learners nga may ara sang reading difficulties or may ara sang visual impairments. So next are the principles in talking books. So the first one is accessibility, inclusive education, multisensory learning, independent learning, engagement, and motivation. So these are the principle nga ga-aim to provide equal learning opportunities para sa tanan ng students, especially sa mga may special needs. So by engaging both listening and reading skills, talking books promotes multisensory independence and motivation in understanding lessons. So next one is guidelines. First is select appropriate materials, ensure clear and natural narration, integrate with reading activities, use in moderation, provide playback control, and check understanding. So, here naman sa guidelines na when we use talking books, teachers should select age-appropriate and clear materials para mag-ensure natin sa good quality narration and integrate them with reading activities. So, learners should be allowed to control playback for better comprehension. It's also important nga mag-combine kita sang listening with discussion or exercises to strengthen ang understanding kag engagement sa mga students. So next are the sample math topics in talking books. So the first one is basic operation, addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division explained through step-by-step audio guides. So the next one is a fraction and decimals, audio explanation with real-life examples like sharing food or money. The third one is shapes and geometry, describing properties of shapes, angles, and symmetry through storytelling. And the last one is measurement, lessons on length, weight, and time using everyday examples. So in talking books, may ara kita nga may use nato ang talking books in various math lessons such as basic operation, fraction, geometry, measurement, and algebra. So makahelp ni sila to explain abstract concepts through spoken examples and stories. So making math session more interesting and easier to understand for all learners, including with those reading difficulties. That would be all. Thank you.
Good morning everyone, I am Julian S. Padilla and now we will talk about audio games. So audio games are learning activities that rely on sounds, voice prompts, music, or recorded clues to guide students as they play. So instead of focusing on visuals, these games encourage learners to pay attention to what they hear. This makes lessons feel more fun and interactive while also helping students sharpen their listening skills, improve concentration, and respond more quickly. Audio games can be played using simple voice recordings, online audio platforms, or teacher-made sound-based quizzes because students usually work together to guess answers or follow audio clues. Audio games also build teamwork and keep them actively involved in the lesson. So here are the guidelines in using audio games. First, give clear and simple instructions. So before starting the game, students should understand exactly what to do. Simple and clear directions prevent confusion and let them focus on listening and participating instead of worrying about the rules. Second, check sound quality and environment. So make sure the audio is loud, clear, and free from background noise. When students hear every question and clue properly, they can play confidently and fully engage in the activity. Third, align the game with the lesson objective. So the audio game should always support what you want students to learn. It's not just about fun, it's about making the lesson more meaningful and helping students understand the concept better. So the fifth guideline is to provide immediate feedback. Quick feedback like sound effects or short comments keeps students motivated. It helps them recognize what they got right or wrong right away, keeping the energy high throughout the activity. And last is to encourage reflection after the game. After playing, let students talk about what they learned, what strategies work, and what they can improve. Reflection deepens their understanding and prepares them to perform even better next time. Here are some principles in using audio games. First is active participation. Audio games work best when students are truly involved. Instead of just sitting and listening, they have to think fast, respond to clues, and participate in the activity. This keeps their minds active and make learning more exciting. Second is clarity, so the audio must be clear, words should be pronounced well, and the pacing shouldn't be too fast or too slow. When students clearly hear the instructions or questions, they can focus on understanding and answering, not on trying to guess what was said. Third is motivation through feedback. So sound effects and instant audio responses make the activity more engaging. A simple chime for a correct answer or a buzzer for a wrong one gives students quick feedback, which helps them stay motivated and eager to improve. Fourth is reinforcement. So audio games often repeat key ideas or encourage teachers to discuss the answers after each round. This repetition helps students remember the lesson better and strengthens their understanding of the topic. Last is inclusivity. Because the activity is based on listening, all students, especially those who learn best through hearing, can participate equally. Audio games create a learning environment where everyone gets a fair chance to contribute and succeed. So here are the sample topics in mathematics and how audio games can be used. So first, for integers, we can use an audio game called Math Battle. The teacher plays an audio question like, what is negative 3 plus 5? And the students compete to answer first. This helps develop their speed and accuracy in solving operations with positive and negative numbers. Next, in geometry, we can play Guess the Shape. The teacher gives audio hints such as, I have no sides, no corners, but I am round. This allows students to visualize and identify shapes using only sound. For algebra, we can play the game Solve It Fast, where the teacher reads equations aloud and students solve for the variable. It enhances their quick thinking and problem-solving skills.
Good day everyone, my name is Gazelme Cordero. I will be discussing under the audio instructional media is the audio recording. So it is a sound-based instructional material that uses recorded voices, musics, or sounds to teach lessons. This medium helps students to learn through listening. It is especially useful for reviewing lessons, storytelling, or explaining concepts in a clear and engaging way. It helps students learn through listening, especially those who are auditory learners. Students can listen anytime, anywhere, making it flexible for both classroom and independent study. Principles in using audio recording. First, clarity of content. The message must be clear and easy to understand. If the audio is not clear, students may misunderstand the lessons or lose focus. Number 2, the relevance to objectives. The recording should match the topic and learning goals. Only use audio that directly supports the subject or skills being taught. 3, good sound quality. The audio should be free from noise or distortion. Clear sounds help maintain students' attention and ensures better comprehension. 4. Engagement. The recording should be interesting and concise. Short and lively recordings prevent boredom and increase students' participation. 5. Integration with lesson. The teacher should connect the recording with class activities. Using the recording as a part of the overall lessons helps students apply what they heard. Guidelines in using audio recording. First, prepare learners before listening. Introduce the topic and explain what students should listen for. 2. Explain difficult terms or math vocabulary. Clarifying unfamiliar words ensures students can follow the recording easily. 3. Play in a quiet environment. Reduces instructions so learners can focus on the lessons. Allow repetition when necessary. Replaying helps students who did not understand the first time. 5. Discuss after listening. Encourages reflection and checks comprehension of the student. 6. Follow copyright rules. Respecting to the copyright ensures ethical and responsible use of media. Sample topics where audio recordings can be used in mathematics. First is the basic operations, which include addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. Recording can explain step-by-step solution to math problems. Word problems. Listening to real-life problem situations help learners connect math to daily life. Geometry. Recording can describe shapes, angles, and symmetry to enhance visualization. Fractions and decimals help learners understand part of a whole and the conversions through examples. Measurement. It helps explain how to measure length, area, or volume accurately. Here are the following apps that can be used in recording audio. First, Voice Recorder, Audacity, BandLab, GarageBand, Lexis Audio Editor, Smart Recorder. Example of audio recording and math lesson. Good day learners! Today we will talk about the area of a square. First, let's define what is square. A square is a shape that has 4 equal sides and 4 right angles. The area of the square tells us how much space is inside the square. To find the area of a square, we use this simple formula. Area is equal to side times side, or we can say area is equal to side squared. Let's try an example. Maria wants to put a carpet on a square bedroom floor. Each side of the floor measures 4 meters. To find the area, we multiply the side by itself. So 4 times 4 is equal to 16. So the area of the Maria's bedroom is 16 square meters. This means she needs a carpet that can cover 16 square meters of space. That's all for today's lesson. Thank you for listening and keep practicing your math skills. Thank you! For your activity, answer this question on a sheet of paper. For Maria's birthday celebration, she ordered a large round pizza with a radius of 7 inches. She became curious about how much cheesy surface the pizza had. So, she decided to compute the area of the circular pizza. What is the area of the pizza? For Maria's birthday celebration, she ordered a large round pizza with a radius of 7 inches. She became curious about how much cheesy surface the pizza had. So, she decided to compute the area of the circular pizza. What is the area of the pizza?
Good day everyone, I am Mary Joy Garde and today I will be presenting the use of voice messaging as an instructional medium. Voice messaging refers to the use of recorded or real-time voice messages to deliver instructions, feedback, or learning materials to students. This can be done through messaging platforms such as Messenger, Telegram, or Google Classroom voice notes. The voice messages can be used to explain lessons and concepts. It gives feedback or comments on assignments. It provides activity and instructions. It motivates and encourages students and offers short reminders and review tips. The voice messaging helps maintain communication and connection between teachers and students, especially in online and blended learning environments. Number 3. The guidelines in using voice messaging. To effectively use voice messaging in instruction, we have to follow these guidelines. Number 1. Plan what to say before recording to make it concise and organized. Number 2. Choose a quiet environment to ensure the recording is clear and noise-free. Number 3. Keep the tone conversational. Speak naturally as if talking to your class. Number 4. Include key points only to avoid the overwhelming students. Number 5. Allow students to respond using voice replies or short written reflections. Number 6. Save and organize voice messages for easy access during reviews or later lessons. Number 2. The principles in using voice messaging. When using voice messaging as instructional media, you should consider the following principles. Number 1. Clarity. Speak clearly with good pacing and pronunciation. Number 2. Brevity. Keep messages short and focused to maintain the student's attention. Number 3. Relevance. Ensure that the message content directly supports the lesson objective. Number 4. Engagement. Use a friendly, natural, and encouraging tone to motivate the students. Number 5. Accessibility. Make sure that students can easily access and replay the message whenever needed. Number 4. Sample topics in mathematics and examples. Voice messaging can be applied in many mathematics lessons. For examples, in algebra.
Send a short voice note explaining how to isolate variables in a linear equation. Example for the voice message. Remember to move all constants to one side and divide both sides by the coefficient of x. In geometry, use a voice message to guide students on finding the area of a triangle or circle, giving step-by-step directions. For word problems, read and clarify a math problem aloud so auditory learners can better process and understand the situation. For review or motivation, send quick daily voice reminders or math tips. For example, you have to voice message your reminders for your students with their activities. Use a voice message to give instructions and motivations.
Good day, everyone. Today, I will be talking about technology for teaching, specifically focusing on soundscapes or audio environments. This topic is important because using soundscapes in the classroom, especially in the Human Services program, can really enhance how we learn and understand different subjects. Through this presentation, we will explore what soundscapes are, the types of audio instructional media we can use, and best practices for applying these sounds effectively in teaching. I will also share specific examples of how soundscapes can support topics like stress management, crisis response, active listening, and cultural awareness. So what is soundscapes? Soundscapes are audio environments made of different sounds. So in teaching, audio and soundscapes help create immersive learning by using voices, natural sounds, and other auditory elements. Soundscapes are basically audio environments made up of different sounds. So parang sound background na may combination ng iba't ibang noises like nature sounds or people talking. So in teaching, gamit natin yung mga soundscapes para maging immersive ang learning. Ibig sabihin, mas feel ng students na andun sila sa scene kasi may voices, natural sounds, or iba pang auditory elements na tumutulong para mas maintindihan nila. So let's move on to the next, which is the chosen set of instructional media. So ito yung mga halimbawa ng audio materials na pwedeng gamitin. So first one is audio recordings. So it includes nature sounds, crowd noise, or specific environments. So audio recordings na may kalikasan sounds or crowd noise na para magbigay ng realistic feel. The next one is podcast related to human services topics. So here, podcast na related sa human services topics para matuto while listening. The next one is audio storytelling or dramatizations. So here, audio storytelling or dramatizations na parang mga kwento na dinadramatize via sound para mas interesting. And the last one is sound effect libraries to stimulate real-life scenarios. So here, sound effect libraries na nagpapastimulate ng real-life scenarios para hands-on feel. So let's move on to the principle in using audio soundscapes. So the first one is match the audio with lesson goals for better engagement. So it is important na matching audio sa lesson goals para hindi maging distracting at para effective ang pagtuturo. And the next part is use clear and high quality recordings. So dito gamitin yung clear at high quality recordings para maayos ang perception ng students. So it is also avoid distracting or unnecessary sounds. So keep it focused. So iwasan yung mga sounds na walang kwenta o pwedeng makadistract. And the last one is volume should be comfortable and consistent. So dito, volume dapat ang comfortable, hindi masyadong malakas o mahina para consistent ang experience. So let's move on to the guidelines in using audio soundscapes. So here, select audio relevant to the human services topic. So dito mahalagang pumili ng mga audio clips o soundscapes na talaga namang connected sa topic ng human services. So para effective ang pagtuturo, dapat related ang mga tunog sa subject na pinag-aaralan para mas madaling maintindihan ng mga estudyante. And the next one is provide background or explanation for sounds use. So dito bago pakinggan ang mga audio, bigyan ng kaunting background o paliwanag kung ano ang mga tunog at bakit ito ginagamit. So nakakatulong ito para magkaroon ng context ang mga learners at hindi sila malilito habang nakikinig. So also encourage students to actively listen and reflect on the audio. So hikayatin ng mga estudyante na maging aktibong tagapakinig. Ibig sabihin hindi lang basta pakikinig, kundi mag-isip din tungkol sa kanilang naririnig kung paano ito nauunay sa topic o kung ano ang significance ng mga tunog. So also use audio to stimulate empathy and understanding in case studies. So ang audio soundscape ay powerful tool para i-develop ang empathy at deeper understanding, lalo na sa mga case studies. So halimbawa, kapag naririnig nila ang mga real-life scenarios sa audio, mas madali sila makakaramdam at maintindihan ang emotions o sitwasyon ng mga tao. So also test audio equipment beforehand to avoid technical issues. So bago magsimula ang lesson, siguraduhin na test ang mga audio equipment tulad ng speakers o headphones para walang aberya habang nagtuturo. Nakakatulong ito para smooth ang daloy ng klase at hindi maistorbo ang focus ng mga estudyante. So let's move on to the next, which is sample human services topics using audio soundscapes. So here, there is active listening skills. So here, use recorded conversations or roleplay audios para matutunan ang active listening skills. Magandang gamitin ang mga recorded conversations or roleplay audios. So dito pwedeng makinig ang mga estudyante sa totoong usapan o simulated dialogues para matutunan kung paano maging attentive at maayos na makinig sa iba. So next, which is stress management. So here, playing calming nature sounds or guided relaxation audios. Sa stress management, pwede gamitin ang mga relaxing audio tulad ng calming nature sounds o guided relaxation audios. So nakakatulong ito para ma-relax ang mga estudyante at matutunan nila paano bawasan ang stress gamit ang sound.